Christmas, Christmas. A time for mistletoe and wine, a time of children singing Christian rhymes. It's a time for caring, a time for sharing, a time of love and laughter and joy ever after. Of course, sometimes a house is not a home, and you have to spend Christmas all alone. It can be a place where tears melt snow. It can be lonely and cold, without someone dear to hold. But in most places, you'll be hanging up your stocking on the wall, waiting for the family to arrive, making sure you have enough space inside, and telling people, it's Christmas! And if it's just you, then maybe you'll be having yourself a merry little Christmas, letting your heart be light at the thought of at least for a while, your troubles will be out of sight. And if you're a bit mental and probably looking out the window of a sanatorium, then you might be waiting for the snowman to bring the snow, and wondering what he knows, and watching out for Santa bring his sleigh along the Milky Way. It is true that for most people, Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year, when everyone is a bit happier, at least when they aren't stressed about shopping, and wishing each other to be of good cheer. And one of the most important aspects of Christmas is the Christmas movie. The Christmas movie, like Christmas dinner, is an opportunity for all the family to get together and sit around the television and watch fairy tales come true. They are uplifting with great messages about family and tradition and trying to bring a bit of magic into our lives at this very special time of year. And to that end, there have been numerous movies, far too many to list and far more than we will ever get to see, which isn't necessarily a bad thing as there is a whole load of tosh out there. And it would put you off watching Christmas movies if you saw too many of them in a row. But do not fear, because like Santa and his reindeer, I am here to bring a little joy into your lives, with a list of movies that are actually worth your time to watch. So sit back, relax, and let's have a look at 5 movies that you should be watching this Christmas time. But before I get started, please consider subscribing, as that would really help me out. And if you like this content, give it a like. Okay, on with the list. In at number 5 is a movie so famous and so well known that you would think everyone would be sick of it by now. But for some reason, I watch it almost every year, and I still enjoy it. And I still can't believe that parents could be so remiss, no matter how many children they have. And that movie is Home Alone. Yes, I know it was an obvious choice, but I never said I was making a list of obscure movies that you've never heard of, and Home Alone will always be in just about everybody's top 10 Christmas movies. It's funny, inventive, quite horrific to watch in places, and you can't help but feel sorry for the burglars. After all,
he's a kid. Kids are stupid.
The average kid is stupid. Kevin, on the other hand, is a walking, talking booby trap. It's a great movie and it's worth your time. At number 4, we have It's a Wonderful Life. What, I hear you ask? Are you insane? That movie should be at number 1. It's a masterpiece. It is one of the greatest movies ever made, regardless of whether it's a Christmas movie. My answer to that is, yes, you're absolutely right. It is a great movie, one of the greatest ever made, but it's also a tragedy. It is a movie about a man who never got his wish, not any of his wishes, and is finally pushed too far and decides that he has no choice except to end his life. It is so depressing. Yes, maybe it has a happy ending, but it's just too dark to be my top pick for a festive feel-good movie. So that's why it finds itself at number 4. Now we come to my number 3 spot, and it's a movie that I have loved watching every year. It is again another classic because, unlike some people, I am not put off by a slight lack of colour. It is Miracle on 34th Street, starring Edmund Gwenn as Kris Kringle, a man who believes he is Santa Claus, and even has to prove it in a court of law. The movie revolves around the question, is Kris Kringle a mental case, or is he Santa Claus? And the movie leaves you wondering all the way up to the very end. Whereupon, it ends, and so just leaves you wondering. The courtroom scenes are fantastic, the performances by all involved are just brilliant. It is a must-watch movie at Christmas that helps reaffirm the wonder of this magical time of year. Number 2 is a doozy. What the hell is a doozy? Why did I just say that? It is the one and only Die Hard. Now, some of you are going to be yelling at me that it isn't a Christmas movie. It is an action movie that just happens to be set at Christmas. And you're wrong. You're so wrong. Die Hard is a perfect Christmas movie. It has joy, it has happiness, it has Hans Gruber falling 30 stories to his death, which is fun. It's about reunification of families, making new friends, and, shooting the odd acquaintance. The word Christmas is mentioned 18 times, whereas they only mention kill 13 times. So there we have it, definitive proof that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It even has a Christmas tree. So there, haters, in your faces. Finally, at number 1 we have A Christmas Carol. No, not that one. Not that one. Not even that one, or this one, or that one, or the other one. No, not even the Muppet version. I mean the classic version with Alistair Sim as Ebenezer Scrooge. It is the definitive greatest adaptation of Charles Dickens' classic work, and no Christmas is complete without at least watching half of it while you rush around cooking Christmas dinner, or while you're falling asleep on the sofa at night after everyone has gone home. A Christmas Carol is a great movie, with great performances, and a feel-good factor that is off the charts. Sims gives a mesmerising, iconic rendition of Scrooge that has never been topped, and I doubt ever will be. There are times when everything comes together, and everything is just right with the movie. The cast, the setting, the script, it all goes right, and there are not many movies that fit the bill, but there are a few, and this is one of them. If you watch any movie this Christmas, make it A Christmas Carol starring Alistair Sim. And that should be the end, but I'm going to give a quick special mention to The Christmas Chronicles, starring one of my favourite actors, Kurt Russell. This movie was recommended to me by my sister, and I finally watched it last night. And while I wasn't wowed, and I don't think it will ever be one of the classics, I do think it was a lot of fun and worth a watch if you want to go out on a limb and see something a bit different. Speaking of different, this is not an elf. This is an elf. This is some sort of imp or gnome or maybe a tiny troll, but it's not a bloody elf. Okay, well that is it. That is my list. And while I could spend some more time waxing lyrical over the magic of Christmas and goodwill to all men, yes, that includes women, bloody feminists, I will instead just wish that all you guys out there have a very Merry Christmas. And look after yourselves. Stay safe in these trying times. Oh, and stuff yourself silly, because along with watching these movies, that is another important tradition. This has been Movie Suck, wishing that I'd mentioned Scrooged, because that was also a great movie. Oh well, maybe next time. Signing out. Leave a like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.